I caught my brother sleeping with my fiancée, the woman I was planning to marry in 6 months. My family told me to forgive them. Then they suddenly showed up at Christmas as if I were the problem that needed solving. So, I ghosted them and built a new life. I need to get this out somewhere, anywhere, because if I don't, I'm going to lose my mind. 3 days ago, I came home early from a construction site in the Northern Industrial District. We'd finished pouring the foundation ahead of schedule, and my project supervisor sent everyone home at 2 p.m. I was pumped. Figured I'd surprise Iris, maybe grab takeout, spend the afternoon together before she had to leave for her evening shift at the hospital. I work as a civil construction project manager. Long hours, dirty boots, but honest work. My dad owns a construction company and I've been in the industry since I was 18. Built a decent life for myself. Nice apartment in a newer complex, reliable truck, money and savings. At 28, I thought I had it figured out. Iris and I had been together 3 years, engaged for 8 months. She's a surgical nurse, smart, beautiful, ambitious. We met at my sister Mia's birthday party. Hit it off immediately. I proposed last winter at the lake where we had our first date. She cried. I cried. It felt perfect. My family loved her. My mom was already planning the wedding. My dad kept joking about grandkids. My younger brother Dylan, 26, is bartender at a downtown gastro pub, always said Iris was too good for me in that joking, but not really way brothers do. I should have seen it then. So, 3 days ago, I pulled into my apartment complex at 2:30 p.m. Saw Iris's car in the lot. Normal. She had Tuesdays off. Grabbed my keys, headed upstairs. The door was unlocked. Also normal. Iris had a key. I walked in, heard something from the bedroom, my bedroom. Not going to lie, my first thought was that she was watching TV, but the sound was wrong. Voices, low movement. I opened the bedroom door. My brother Dylan was in my bed with my fiancée. I didn't yell. Didn't scream. Didn't throw anything. I just stood there for what felt like an hour, but was probably 5 seconds. They scrambled apart. Iris grabbed the sheet. Dylan started stammering something. I don't even remember what. I said, "Get out, both of you, now." My voice didn't shake. It was flat, cold, dead. Dylan tried to stand up, pulling on his jeans. "Man, listen. You have 10 minutes to get out of my apartment. If you're still here after that, I'm calling the cops." Iris finally spoke. Her voice was small. "Please, let me explain." I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman I was going to marry. This woman I trusted with everything. "Don't," I said. "Just go." She reached for my arm. I stepped back like she was on fire. They left in 8 minutes. Dylan kept trying to talk. I didn't respond, just stood in my living room, arms crossed, staring at the wall until I heard the door close. Then I sat down on my couch. Didn't cry. Didn't break anything. Just sat there feeling like my chest had caved in. I texted Iris an hour later. "Engagement's off. Don't contact me again." Then I called Dylan. He picked up on the first ring, started with, "I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. You're dead to me," I said, and hung up. I blocked Iris on everything. Phone, social media, email, deleted every photo, took the engagement ring she left on my nightstand and threw it in a drawer. Then I called my parents. My mom answered. I told her what happened. She gasped, started crying, put my dad on speaker. I repeated the story, calm, factual, no emotion. My dad's voice went hard. "That's unforgivable. Dylan's going to hear from me." I called Mia next. She's a nurse, works nights, but she was awake. When I told her, she said, "I'm coming over right now." She did. Brought pizza and beer, sat with me for 4 hours. Didn't make excuses for Dylan. Didn't tell me to forgive anyone. Just sat there and let me process. For 2 weeks, I thought I had my family's support. My dad called Dylan and tore into him. Mia told me she'd never heard him that angry. My mom sent me daily texts. "We love you. We're here for you. Take all the time you need." I started to believe I'd be okay, that I had people in my corner. Then, 2 weeks after everything imploded, I stopped by my parents' house to drop off some tools my dad had lent me for a project. I was walking toward the garage when I heard my mom's voice through the kitchen window. She was on the phone. "Dylan, sweetheart, I know you're hurting, too. You're still my son. We'll work through this." As a family, I froze. She was crying, comforting him like he was the victim. I stood there in the driveway, tools in hand, listening to my mother console the man who betrayed me. And that's when I realized this wasn't over. Not even close. I left the tools on the driveway and drove home. Didn't confront her. What was the point? The next family dinner invitation came 3 days later. Sunday lunch at my parents' place. Tradition since I was a kid. I ignored the text. My mom called. "Honey, we miss you. Please come." "Is Dylan going to be there?" Silence. Then we're still his parents. We can't just cut him off. Watch me, I said, and hung up. My dad tried next, called me from the construction office. Used his reasonable voice, the one he uses with difficult clients. Son, what Dylan did was wrong. Nobody's disputing that. But he's your brother, he made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. He didn't trip and fall into bed with my fiancée. Don't be crude. Look, I'm not asking you to forgive him tomorrow, but eventually, you're going to have to move past this for the family. Why is it always on me to move past things? Why doesn't he have to earn anything back? My dad sighed, because you're the older one. You've always been more mature. That's why I need you to be the bigger man here. I laughed, actually laughed. Right. Got it. I stopped going to family events, focused on work, picked up extra projects, stayed late at sites, came home, ate frozen dinners, went to bed. Repeat. 2 months after the betrayal, Mia called me at 11 p.m. I need to tell you something, she said. And you're going to hate it. My stomach dropped. What? Dylan and Iris are dating. Like, officially, Mom and Dad know. I was silent for so long. Mia said my name twice to make sure I was still there. How long? I finally asked. I don't know. A few weeks. I just found out tonight. They were at dinner together at Mom and Dad's house. Yeah. And nobody thought to tell me. Mom said they didn't want to upset you. That you were healing and this would set you back. I wanted to put my fist through the wall. Instead, I said, thanks for telling me. And hung up. I confronted my parents the next day. Showed up at their house unannounced. They were having coffee on the back porch. You're letting them date? I said, no greeting, no preamble. My mom's face went pale. Sweetheart, don't. Just answer the question. My dad set down his mug. We're not letting anyone do anything. They're adults. We can't control their choices, but you can control whether they're welcome in this house. My mom stood. We're trying to keep this family together. I won't choose between my sons. You already did. I said. You just chose him. I left before she could respond. Thanksgiving came. I wasn't planning to go, but Mia begged. Literally begged. Said she'd barely see me otherwise. That she missed me. That I didn't have to stay long. I caved. Big mistake. I walked into my parents' house at 4:00 p.m. The smell of turkey, the sound of football on TV. Normal. Familiar. Then I walked into the dining room. Dylan was sitting at the table. Next to him, holding his hand, was Iris. Nobody had told me they'd be there. I stood in the doorway. Every eye turned to me. My mom's face was hopeful, like she thought this would magically fix everything. I didn't say a word, just turned around, grabbed my coat, and walked out. Behind me, I heard my mom call my name. I kept walking. Nobody followed me to the car. December hit. I worked through Christmas Eve. Told my family I had a project deadline. I didn't, but they didn't need to know that. Christmas morning, Mia texted, please come tonight, just for a few hours. Do it for me. I stared at that text for 20 minutes. She'd been the only one who hadn't made excuses for Dylan, the only one who seemed to understand how wrecked I was. So, I went. I showed up at 7 p.m. The house was lit up like a damn department store. Cars in the driveway, my parents, Mia, my aunt and uncle, and Dylan's car, and a car I didn't recognize but had a bad feeling about. I almost left right then. Should have trusted my gut. I walked in. Everyone was in the living room. Christmas music playing. My mom spotted me first. Her face lit up. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so glad you came. She walked over, hugged me. I barely hugged back. Then I saw the rest of the room. Dylan, Iris sitting together on the couch. My dad standing near the fireplace. Mia on the love seat looking guilty as hell. My mom stepped back, hands on my shoulders, tears in her eyes. This is what Christmas is about, she said, family, forgiveness, being together. I looked around at the faces staring at me expectantly. At Dylan, who wouldn't meet my eyes, at Iris, who looked like she wanted to disappear. You ambushed me, I said quietly. No, honey, we just thought. You ambushed me, my dad spoke up. Son, we can't keep doing this. We're a family. It's time to move forward. Something inside me went cold. Perfectly crystalline cold. You're right, I said. It is time to move forward. I grabbed my coat. My mom grabbed my arm. Please don't do this to us. I gently pulled free. Looked her in the eye. I'm not doing anything. You did this. I walked out into the December cold. Got in my truck, drove home. That night, I made a list, a real physical list of everything tying me to the city. My apartment lease was month to month. My job had offices in 4 states. My friends, most were work buddies who'd understand a transfer. By New Year's, I'd applied for a transfer to Indianapolis, 200 m away. Far enough. By February, I was packing. By March, I was gone. I blocked everyone. My parents, Dylan, Iris, changed my number, deleted social media, vanished. For 3 months, I heard nothing. Built a new life, new apartment, new routines, started running in the mornings, hitting the gym after work. Went on a few dates, nothing serious, but it felt good to remember I was still a person. Then one Tuesday in June, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. Hey, it's Felicity, your cousin. Please don't hang up. I hesitated. Felicity had always been cool, older, mid-30s, lived across the state. We'd been close as kids, but drifted as adults. What do you want? I asked just to talk. I heard about everything. I'm not calling for them. I swear, I just want to check on you. Can we meet for coffee? Just me? I promise. I should have said no, but I was lonely. And she sounded genuine. Fine, I said. But if anyone else shows up, I'm gone. Deal, she said. We set a date for the following Saturday. A coffee shop near my new place. I told myself it would be fine, that Felicity wouldn't screw me over. I was wrong. Felicity showed up alone. I got to the coffee shop 15 minutes early. Scoped out every corner, checked the parking lot twice. Paranoid, maybe, but I wasn't getting burned again. She walked in at exactly 2 p.m., saw me, smiled. Came over by herself. No family trailing behind, no setup. We talked for 2 hours. She didn't make excuses for anyone. Didn't ask me to forgive or forget. Just asked how I was doing, what Indianapolis was like, if I was settling in. Okay, I'm good. I said, and I meant it. I'm glad, she said, you deserve to be. When we parted ways, she hugged me, take care of yourself. And hey, if you ever want to grab coffee again, I'm around. I drove home feeling lighter than I had in months. A week later, I met Autumn. I'd started running at this community park near my apartment, 3 miles every morning before work. That Sunday, I was cooling down by the pavilion when I saw her setting up tables for some kind of event. She was struggling with a folding table that wouldn't lock into place. I walked over. Need a hand? She looked up, wiped sweat off her forehead. Please. This thing hates me. I got the table locked in 30 seconds. She laughed. Show off. Years of construction work, I said. I fought worse. Her name was Autumn. She was a therapist. Volunteered at a youth center on weekends. They were hosting a community cookout. She had brown hair pulled back in a ponytail, green eyes, and a smile that felt real. We talked while she set up. I offered to help with the rest of the tables. She didn't say no. By the time the cookout started, I had her number. We went on our first date 3 days later. Dinner at a quiet Italian place. She asked about my work. I asked about hers. No games, no pretense, just two people getting to know each other. I didn't tell her about Dylan or Iris or any of it. Not yet. That felt like baggage for a second or third date, but by the third date, I did tell her all of it. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. That's brutal, she said. I'm sorry you went through that. No pity, no over-the-top sympathy, just acknowledgement. I fell a little bit in love with her right then. 2 months into dating Autumn, Felicity called again. Hey, so my birthday's coming up. She said, I'm doing a small dinner. Just close friends. Low key. You should come. I hesitated. I don't know, I promise. It's just my friend group. Nobody from the family. Scout's honor. Autumn was sitting next to me on the couch. I put the phone on mute. Felicity is inviting me to her birthday dinner. Should I go? Do you trust her? Autumn asked. I thought about the coffee shop. How genuine she'd seemed. Yeah, I think I do. Then go, Autumn said. But if anything feels off, leave. I agreed to the dinner. The restaurant was downtown, a place I'd never been. Felicity texted me the private room number. I walked in, scanning for red flags. The room was set up with a long table, balloons, a happy birthday banner, and sitting around that table, my mom, my dad, Mia, Dylan, Iris, every single one of them. Felicity stood near the doorway looking caught between hope and guilt, like she knew this was wrong but convinced herself it was right. My dad stood up. Son, we need to talk. I didn't move, didn't sit. My voice came out low, controlled. Dangerous. What is this? My mom stood too. Please. Sweetheart. Just sit down. Let's talk like a family. You ambushed me again. My dad took a step forward. You need to stop running. We're your family. You need to forgive and move on. Which son are you talking to? I said. Because it seems like you already picked one. Dylan finally spoke. Man. Come on. It's been almost a year. Don't. I cut him off. Don't you dare. My dad moved closer, put a hand on my shoulder. Firm, almost aggressive. Stop being so selfish. This is tearing your mother apart. Something inside me snapped. I shoved his hand off my shoulder. Hard. He pushed back harder. My fist connected with his jaw before I even realized I'd thrown the punch. The room exploded. My mom screamed. Mia jumped up, yelling my name. Dylan lunged toward me. My dad staggered back, hand on his face, eyes wide with shock. I didn't wait. Didn't apologize, just turned and walked out. My knuckles were already swelling by the time I hit the parking lot. I drove straight to Autumn's place. Told her everything. She held me while I sat on her couch shaking. Not from fear. From rage. You did what you had to do, she said quietly. That night, I blocked every single one of them. New round of blocks. Changed my number again. Deleted every email account they knew about. I was done for real this time. 6 months passed. Autumn and I moved in together. I got promoted at work. Started sleeping through the night again. Stopped looking over my shoulder. Then one random Tuesday evening, I was scrolling through my phone while Autumn cooked dinner. A notification popped up. A wedding announcement in a local newspaper. Someone had tagged the link in a construction industry group I was part of. I almost scrolled past. Then I saw the names Dylan Foster and Iris Chen married Saturday, October 14th. There was a photo Dylan in a tux, Iris in white. Both of them smiling. I stared at the screen. Autumn walked over, looked at my face. What's wrong? I showed her the phone. She read it, then looked at me. How do you feel? I waited for anger, for hurt. For anything, but all I felt was nothing. I don't care, I said, and I meant it. Life moved forward. Autumn and I fell into a rhythm. She'd leave early for her practice. I'd head to whichever site needed me that day. We'd meet back at the apartment, cook dinner together, watch terrible reality TV, go to bed. Simple, peaceful. I didn't think about Dylan or Iris or the wedding. Didn't Google them. Didn't ask questions. They were ghosts from a life I didn't live anymore. 3 months after the wedding announcement, the letter started. My company's HR manager called me into her office. We received some mail addressed to you personally, she said, looking uncomfortable. It's marked personal and confidential, but it came to the office, so she handed me 3 envelopes, all handwritten. All from my mother. Is this going to be a problem? She asked. No, I said. Won't happen again. I threw them in the trash on my way out. Didn't open a single one. More came, different envelopes, different handwriting. My dad's block letters. Mia's looping script. I reported it to HR as harassment. They sent a cease and desist letter to my parents' address. The letter stopped. Then came the emails. Burner accounts. Fake names. But I recognized the writing. My mom's rambling, please. My dad's let's be reasonable tone. I set up filters, deleted them automatically. Voicemails hit my work phone. I had the receptionist screen my calls. After 2 months of that, they finally stopped. Radio silence for a year and a half. Autumn and I thrived. I got promoted to senior project manager. She opened her own practice. We adopted a dog, some mixed breed rescue she fell in love with at an adoption event, named him Copper. We talked about the future, kids, maybe a house with a yard growing old together. It felt real, solid, nothing like what I'd had with Iris. Then, 2 years after I punched my dad, I got a message from an old buddy, Troy, a guy I'd worked with before the move. We'd stayed in touch, grabbed beers when I visited the old city for work conferences. He texted, hey, man. Got something for you. Can I call? I called him back. What's up? Look, I don't know if you want to hear this, but I ran into your sister Mia at a bar last week. She asked about you. Asked if I was still in touch. My stomach tightened. What did you tell her that we text sometimes? She gave me a letter. Asked me to send it to you. Said she'd understand if you didn't read it, but she wanted to try. Don't send it. Already did. Sorry. Man. It's just a letter. You can toss it. It arrived 4 days later. Thin envelope. My name and Mia's handwriting. Autumn saw it when she brought in the mail. That from her? Yeah, you going to open it? I turned the envelope over in my hands. I don't know. I sat with it for 3 days. Finally opened it while Autumn was at work. It was short. 2 pages. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking you to call or write back. I just need you to know I was wrong. I participated in ambushing you. Twice. I made excuses for Dylan. I chose comfort over doing the right thing. You deserve better for me. I'm sorry, I've gone low contact with mom and dad. I see them maybe once every few months. Dylan, less than that. I can't be part of what they tried to force. It wasn't right. I hope you're happy. I hope you've built a good life. You deserve it, Mia. No return address, no phone number, just the apology. I put the letter in a drawer and didn't respond. But 2 months later, when Mia sent a single text to my work phone, is it okay if I text occasionally? I won't mention them, just want to know you're alive. I replied, fine, but boundaries stay. We texted maybe once a month. Surface stuff, weather, Copper doing something dumb. Her work at the hospital, nothing deep, But it was something through Troy. Bits and pieces of news filtered back. I didn't ask for it, but he'd volunteer information when we'd meet up. Heard Dylan got fired. He mentioned once over beers. Drinking problem. Lost his bartending gig. Another time your parents separated. Your dad moved to an apartment downtown and later Dylan and Iris are having problems. She's working 2 jobs. Heard they're drowning in credit card debt. I nodded, didn't comment, didn't feel satisfaction or pity. Just nothing. Meanwhile, my life kept getting better. I proposed to Autumn at the park where we met. Got down on one knee right by that pavilion where I'd fixed her table. She said yes before I even finished asking. 4 months later, she peed on a stick and showed me 2 pink lines. We're having a baby, she said, crying and laughing at the same time. I held her, felt something shift in my chest. This was my family now. This was what mattered. We told her parents, her friends, my co-workers, people who actually gave a damn. I didn't tell anyone from my old life. They didn't deserve to know. 6 months into the pregnancy, Autumn glowing, picking out names, setting up a nursery, I made a decision. I drove to the county courthouse on a Tuesday morning. Filed the paperwork, paid the fee. 2 weeks later, I stood in front of a judge, and legally changed my last name to Autumn's surname. Hayes. No more carrying the name of people who chose someone else over me. I was starting fresh. My son would carry a name built on love, not obligation. I walked out of that courthouse with the signed documents in hand, feeling lighter than I had in years. My phone buzzed as I reached my truck. Unknown number, but the area code was familiar. The text read, "Please, I know I don't deserve it, but I need to see you just once. It's important, Mia." I stared at the screen. Autumn was 7 months pregnant. We were painting the nursery this weekend. My life was finally perfectly stable. And here was the past, knocking again. I sat in the truck, finger hovering over the keyboard, trying to decide if I'd regret saying yes or if I'd regret saying no. I texted back, neutral location. Public, just you. We met at a park 3 days later. Different park from where I'd met Autumn. I wasn't contaminating that space. Mia was already there when I arrived, sitting on a bench near the playground. She looked thinner than I remembered. Tired, I sat down, kept 2 ft of space between us. What's so important? She didn't look at me right away. Just stared at the empty swings, swaying in the breeze. "I'm seeing a therapist," she said. "Have been for about 6 months working through everything." She suggested I reach out. Not to ask for anything, just to apologize. Face to face. "You already apologized. In the letter, I know, but I needed to say it to you, to see your face and tell you I know how badly I messed up." She finally turned to look at me. "I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a relationship. I just needed you to hear me say it. I'm sorry for all of it." I studied her face, looking for manipulation, for angles. I didn't see any. "Okay," I said. We sat in silence for a minute. "You look good," she said. "Happy?" "I am. I'm glad." She smiled. Sad, but genuine. "That's all I wanted. For you to be okay." I left after 20 minutes. It felt like closure. Real closure. Against my better judgment. And after a long conversation with Autumn, I agreed to occasional texts with Mia. Nothing deep. She'd send pictures of Copper if he did something funny. She'd ask how work was going. I'd respond with 1 or 2 sentences. It was surface level, safe. Months passed, Autumn's belly grew. We finished the nursery. Soft blues and greens, a crib we'd spent hours assembling, a rocking chair Autumn's mom had given us. Mia never mentioned Dylan. Never mentioned my parents. Never pushed. One afternoon, 3 weeks before Autumn's due date, Mia texted, "Would you and Autumn want to come over for dinner? My place? Just us? I'd really like to meet her properly. Celebrate your engagement and the baby." I showed Autumn the text. She was folding baby clothes on the couch, humming along to some playlist. She looked up. "What do you think?" "I think it might be fine. She's been respectful. Hasn't crossed any lines, but I don't know if I trust it." Autumn set down a tiny onesie. "Do you want to go?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. Maybe if she's actually changed, maybe it's worth trying. "Then we try," Autumn said. "But the second anything feels wrong, we leave. No debate." I texted Mia back. "Fine," when she sent an address and a date. The following Saturday, 6 p.m. The week passed without incident. I kept waiting for red flags. None came. Saturday arrived. Autumn was having a good day. No back pain, no swelling. She wore a flowy dress that showed off her bump. I drove us to Mia's apartment across town. Nice complex, quiet neighborhood. Normal. I parked. Looked at Autumn. "If anyone else is in there, we leave immediately." She finished. "I know." We walked up to the second floor. I knocked. Mia opened the door and behind her, sitting in her living room, my mom, Dylan, Iris. Time stopped. Mia's face crumbled. Please just listen for 5. I didn't let her finish. I took Autumn's hand. We're leaving. My mom stood up. Your son. You're about to have a son and you didn't even tell us. I turned, looked at her dead in the eye. I don't have a mother anymore. Dylan started to speak. I didn't even glance at him. Just guided Autumn back toward the stairs. Mia followed us to the doorway. Please, I just thought. You thought wrong? I said. Autumn squeezed my hand as we walked down the stairs. Neither of us looked back. In the car, Autumn asked, Are you okay? I started the engine. Yeah, I'm done for good. This time I meant it. That night after Autumn went to bed, I sent one final message to Mia. You had one chance. You blew it. Don't contact me again. I blocked her number. Deleted the text thread. Erased every trace. Then I went through my phone. Any contact, any email, any thread connected to my old life, gone. Deleted. Purged. I sat on the couch in the dark, feeling nothing but relief. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't open it. The text read, Congratulations on the baby. You didn't even tell your own family. You're a coward. My jaw clenched. I stared at those words. Probably Dylan. Maybe my mom. Didn't matter. I typed back. You're not my family. You never were. I blocked the number, but I didn't change mine. I wasn't running anymore. Let them scream into the void. Let them send all the messages they wanted. I was done reacting. Done caring. They'd lost their power over me. And that was the best revenge I could ever have. 3 weeks later at 3 a.m. On a Tuesday, Autumn woke me up. It's time, she said, gripping my arm. I drove her to the hospital, held her hand through 12 hours of labor, watched my son come into the world, screaming and perfect. They placed him on Autumn's chest. She was crying. I was crying. Bennett, she whispered. Bennett Hayes, my son, my name, my family. Everything else was just noise. Bennett Hayes was born at 3:36 p.m., weighing 7 lb, 6 ounce. He had Autumn's nose and my stubborn chin. When the nurse handed him to me for the first time, he opened his eyes barely, and I felt something I'd never felt before. Not love like I'd known it. Something fiercer, protective, absolute. This was my family right here in this room. Nobody from my old life knew he existed. I liked it that way. The first 2 months were a blur of diapers and sleepless nights in Autumn and I taking shifts while Copper anxiously paced around the nursery. But it was good. Hard but good. We got married when Bennett was 4 months old. Small ceremony at a botanical garden. Autumn's parents, her sister, a handful of close friends from work and her practice. 30 people total. No drama. No surprise guests. No ambushes. I stood at the altar in a simple gray suit, watching Autumn walk down the aisle in a cream dress, holding Bennett in one arm while her dad held her other arm. Our son was part of our vows, part of our beginning. When the officiant said, "You may kiss your bride." And I did. I heard Bennett make a small noise. Not crying, just aware something was happening, and everyone laughed. It was perfect. No ghosts, no shadows, just us. 6 months after the wedding, my dad showed up at my workplace. I was in a project trailer reviewing blueprints when security called. Someone's here asking for you. Says he's your father. Want me to send him away? My stomach dropped, but I wasn't running anymore. I'll come down, I said. I walked to the front gate. My dad was standing outside the fence looking older than I remembered. Grayer, thinner. I didn't go through the gate. Just stood on my side, arms crossed. What do you want? He looked like he'd been preparing a speech. I need to talk to you, please. Just 5 minutes. You have to. He flinched, then took a breath. I was wrong about everything. I pushed you to forgive Dylan when you had every right to walk away. I chose keeping the peace over doing what was right. I'm sorry. Your mother and I were not together anymore. Haven't been for over a year. And I realize now that trying to force everyone to get along, it destroyed us all. I waited. Didn't react. I just want you to know, he continued, that I'm proud of you, for building a life. For standing up for yourself, even if it meant leaving us behind. I didn't leave you behind, I said. You pushed me out. He nodded slowly. I know. We stood there in silence. I could see him trying to find more words. I didn't help him. Your mother told me about the baby, he finally said. And the wedding, she saw it on. I don't know, someone's social media or something. She's devastated she wasn't there. She made her choices. I know. He looked down. Can I? Can I meet him? My grandson? I felt nothing. No anger. No pity. Just a flat, empty calm. No. His face crumbled. Please. I forgive you. I said I do, but I don't want you in my life. You, Mom, Dylan, none of you. I've moved on. I'm happy, and I need you to respect that. But he's my son and I get to decide who's in his life. You don't get access to him just because we share DNA. My dad's eyes filled with tears. I'd never seen him cry before. Not once. I understand, he said quietly. I nodded. Goodbye. I turned and walked back to the trailer. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. Through Troy, I heard updates over the next year. I never asked, but he'd mention things in passing during our occasional meetups. Dylan and Iris divorced 2 years after their wedding. She left him for someone else. Some insurance agent she met at her second job. The irony wasn't lost on me, but I felt nothing about it. Dylan apparently spiraled after that, still drinking, bouncing between jobs. My parents were still separated. Dad was dating someone new. Mom was in therapy. Mia sent one last email 6 months ago. I saw the subject line in my spam folder. I'm sorry. I understand. I hope you're happy. I deleted it without reading it. Now I'm sitting on my porch. It's Sunday morning. Autumn's inside making breakfast. I can hear her singing to Bennett, who's 2 now, babbling back at her in that half-language toddlers have. Copper's asleep at my feet. The sun's coming up over the neighborhood. I've got a mug of coffee and nowhere to be. My name is on the mailbox. Hayes. My son's name is Hayes. I built this. I think about the kid I was at 28, the one who thought family was everything, the one who believed blood meant loyalty. I know better now. Family isn't about DNA. It's about who shows up, who respects you, who chooses you as much as you choose them. I don't regret cutting them off. Not for a second. Not when Dylan betrayed me. Not when my parents chose him. Not when they ambushed me over and over. Not when I punched my dad. Not when I walked away from every single one of them. Because walking away gave me this. A wife who loves me. A son who will grow up knowing what real family looks like. A life built on my terms. They're still out there somewhere living with the consequences of their choices. Dylan's broke and divorced. My parents are separated. Mia is alone, caught between guilt and a family that imploded. And I'm here happy at peace. Sometimes people ask if I'll ever reconcile. Co-workers who hear bits of the story. Autumn's friends who can't imagine cutting off family. I tell them the truth. No, not because I'm bitter. Not because I'm holding a grudge, but because I don't need them. I don't want them. And I refuse to let anyone back into my life who's already proven they'll choose someone else when it matters. Bennett calls from inside. Da. I smile, finish my coffee, and head in. This is my family now. This is what I chose, and I've never been more certain of anything in my life. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.